Indian government went in full boss mode this week. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. A few days back, the Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announced that he's using ZOHO suite of apps in place of Microsoft Office. Now, if you don't know, ZOHO is this company that's been around since 1996 in India. They have a very capable suite of apps that can replace Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Access, if anybody still uses Access, and whatever. And it's formally being adopted in the Indian Railways and is likely to be adopted by other government departments as well. Now, this video is not sponsored by ZOHO or the Indian government. Let me make that very clear. All these opinions that are on this video are my own personal objective opinions. I stay out of paid sponsorships, so the only way you can support me is by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Anyway, what the Indian government has effectively done by this very public move is, in a very soft way, telling the US big tech that we don't need you. So you, Microsoft, Amazon, or whoever, should not take India for granted, because we have our own homegrown apps for work, for personal use, for government use, for public sector uses, and so on. We have everything we need in this country. At least that's how I look at it. And I'm sure that's how US officials also look at it. Now, this is not directly in response to the H1B visa fee that was announced a couple of weeks ago and the whole mess that followed after that. But effectively, what it's saying is that we should take more pride in the tech that is being homegrown, that's being developed in India. And as career options, we should not give first preference to moving and studying in the US, because look what happened. A bit more news from ZOHO. ZOHO launched an instant messaging app called Aratai. As a Chennai boy, I love saying it. Aratai. It means chat in Tamil. That is set to rival WhatsApp. So what ZOHO is saying, hey, you Meta, owner of WhatsApp, we don't need you. So don't take India for granted. I am just enjoying this. By the way, on a humanitarian note, some families might be disrupted by this whole H1B visa fee. If somebody is in the US and had to return because they didn't get an H1B visa, hope said person did not take debt to go to the US, because then that would be an absolute shit situation caused by this US administration. So if you know somebody who's on an H1B visa, I know this new rule applies to new visas, but check in on them in case. You never know. Things might change tomorrow. I honestly think this whole H1B visa fee of $100,000 is going to get rolled back. Some tech CEO is going to go to Donald Trump and present him with an ugly gold-plated trophy with his name on it, and he's going to be very happy, and he's going to say, okay, H1B visa fees are back down to $5,000. That's how it has been the last 9 months. And that's probably how it's going to be the next 3 years and 3 months. Wow. In news that's not related to India, Donald Trump signed an executive order approving a deal for Americans, sophisticated Americans, I love the term he used, to buy TikTok US. ByteDance is the TikTok parent company, is yet to approve the deal, but this deal is an example of the level of corruption that's happening in the US tech world right now. This deal is clearly designed to benefit people like Larry Ellison, Andy Horowitz, and others who are Donald Trump's friends and his campaign donors. So don't let any American advise you on corruption and on unease of doing business in India. All the opinions expressed on this video are mine alone, and I take full accountability for it. Don't cancel me. Anyway, let's go through the most important tech news from this week in Tech India very quickly. I try to keep my videos as short as possible, but I also timestamp the videos in the description, so you can, if you want, if you don't want to look at my face more, you can jump to the most relevant parts of this week in Tech India. Let's see. Swiggy has launched a new app in Pune called Toing. I don't know how to say it right, Toing, which is said to be for budget eats, that is 100 to 150 rupee price range eats. This is Swiggy's 7th app, in case you didn't realize it. Why is Swiggy having so many apps where it can't just be one app that's called Swiggy? You know, it has Snack, which is supposed to be like for office eats or whatever, and Instamart and whatnot. I'm going to spend some time on it. There'll be a post coming on this very soon. Rolls-Royce opens its largest aerospace global capability center in Bangalore. This means a lot of think tank is going to be in Bangalore from one of the world's biggest designers of aerospace engines. As of today, over 1,400 Rolls-Royce engines power various platforms of the Indian Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Army. More than 3,000 people work across its ecosystem, including 2,000 highly skilled engineers contributing to global development programs. Zomato partners with Make My Trip to enable food delivery on trains. Well, not exactly on trains. Food can be delivered to a station where your train will stop. I don't know, man. I'm one of the few people who thought train pantry food is quite okay. But I guess when I'm taking the train from Bombay down south, I can have vadas delivered to me at the Karjat station. Global semiconductor leader ARM has set up a new office in Bangalore. Semiconductor news gets me really excited. ARM has set up a new unit in Bangalore which will focus on designing cutting edge chips, including advanced 2 nanometer nodes. 2 nanometer nodes are a big deal. The smaller the chip, the more efficient it is. It requires more brains, more technical authority to design such a thing. And ARM is doing it in India and makes me very proud. Related but not related to semiconductors, it seems there's a proposal going around in the government that there will be a 20-year tax exemption for data center developers if they meet certain criteria, of course. If that proposal is approved, that'll be a big deal. But anyway, TCS announces a deal with Vodafone India to transform their business support system through an AI driven and future ready platform. Vodafone India is not yet bankrupt. Nobody asked, but they're not yet bankrupt. The Indian government has named 8 organizations, which include IIT Bombay, to develop homegrown large language models. I think the final piece of the AI pie have a homegrown LLM, which Zoho already has, by the way. Again, not sponsored by Zoho. Some news related to digital payments, specifically coming from the RBI. PhonePe, Paytm, and Cred shut down their rent payment services after the RBI curbs. It was a bit convenient to pay your rent via PhonePe. I mean, if my landlord, I can just GPay him my rent, I guess. Anyway, I guess officially you can't pay rent via PhonePe, Cred, or Paytm. The RBI has mandated 2-factor authentication for all digital payments. Good for security. I hope Face ID on my iPhone will continue to do for my digital payments. But yeah, it's good for security. And RBI has instructed Bangalore-based fintech startup Simple to halt all payments while an investigation is going on. PhonePe files confidential IPO papers with SEBI. This PhonePe IPO will be a big one. Following the success of Urban Company and other pending IPOs, upcoming big tech IPOs that are like Boat, Oyo, Grow. Yes, Grow also announced that it's headed towards an IPO. That gives us a chance to be part owners of such big companies. I mean, Tata Capital is having a massive IPO next month. It's not tech, I know, but it's something that is worth talking about for a little bit. And Reliance Jio announced that they're headed for an IPO in 2026. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated BSNL's 4G stacked and commissioned more than 97,000 4G towers. This makes India one of the few countries that manufactures its own equipment. And it could actually have people switch over from Airtel and Jio to BSNL. Maybe. I don't know. Let me know if you do. Nothing. The phone company Nothing. Nothing CMF is to operate as an independent subsidiary to be based in India. Nothing still makes some pretty cool phones. Even the CMF phones are reasonably popular, I would say, among Android users. And for it to be based in India is pretty cool. There are more details on the upcoming e-aadhaar app. Users will be able to update date of birth, address, and phone number instantly with the upcoming all-in-one app. This means that probably we won't have to wait in queues to have our Aadhaar updated. This is convenient, but it is raising security concerns in my head. And finally, the iPhone 17 went on sale, and there were mad rush scenes outside the BKC store for people to get their hands on the new iPhone 17. The first person to buy the iPhone 17 in India got exactly what he paid for. He could have waited a few days and bought online. But anyway, if that's you, leave a comment. Now, that's it for this week. Stay tuned for next week. This episode of the best tech news of the week comes out every Sunday. Make sure to subscribe. And if you installed Aratai, let me leave a comment. I'll message you. Peace.